All right, y'all. All right. There is a lot to talk about tonight. A lot to talk about. Some good, a lot of weird stuff going on with Scream. We'll get into that. Let us know your thoughts, of course, in the comments. You know, Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega are out of Scream 7. Reportedly, there's like a rumor floating around. We'll get to it a little bit later that Nev is also not coming back. Guys, we got to talk about this. But I won't dive too deep. Let me get my boy, my co-hostess with the mostest, my man Loretto. What's going on, man? How are you? What's up?
Good evening. I had an awesome time at Fan Expo San Francisco. Oh, thank you. Fan Expo San Francisco 2023. Great time. I've been running around past 48 hours, but it's nice to be back. And yeah, we have so much to dig into. Lots of news, but also lots of concerning stuff, especially the Melissa Barrera stuff. So
yeah, right. We got to talk about this because you know what sucks is like we're just getting out of this era of strikes and disagreement there, and now it's like, okay, now we have what appears to be a very unfair firing on the horizon. But guys, before we get into that, we are going to get into our first segment, y'all. We're getting into guys, it's time to rate your hype on upcoming trailers This time we are actually going to talk a little bit about upcoming MCU shows, as there was a report that went out this week about MCU shows getting season 2s. By the way, what's going on, Laser? We saw him pop in a little bit earlier. What's going on, man?
What's up, Laser?
Good to see ya. But we're going to go ahead and rate 1 to 2 these upcoming MCU shows, starting off with Moon Knight season 2, which is reportedly coming out. Oscar Isaac would probably return to... definitely assuming that he would come back for this role. No further details about what it's about, when it will come out. However, it would be in the season 2 show lineup. We got our boy Joe Son here. What's going on?
What's up, Joe Son?
Loretto, how did you feel about Moon Knight season 1? Because for the most part, I really liked it. I just think they held back on some scenes, especially action sequences, where we could have gotten a little bit grimy, a little grittier, a little darker. I'm hoping season 2 can be underneath the spotlight banner. I really want us to be under the spotlight for that season 2.
What's up, Colby? He's calling you Leo the Lizard.
Just like the movie.
Yeah, shouts out the Adam Sandler animated film. But anyways, Moon Knight is a weird thing because there's a lot of things I liked. Obviously, I really enjoy Oscar Isaac's performance. Mm-hmm. Ethan Hawke too, even though he's a little undercooked overall, but I do like Ethan Hawke's performance.
Oh, Ethan Hawke.
Yeah, he's a little undercooked, but I like his performance just because it's freaking Ethan Hawke. He's gonna eat up the scene no matter how poorly or good his character is written. Like, he's just a good actor. Some really cool concepts, especially with Oscar Isaac, like seeing the scene of the crime, like flashing out of it, but then we see like the results of him being the Moon Knight, and like, I thought that was kind of a cool concept, but it's a little clunky in the way it tells its story, and it's a little hard to follow. Like, when I think about going through the whole season and the way it plays out, God, I'm so checked out from this show. It's been a while. What is that chick's name? She has like a
Meg Callumway.
No, her hero, like Scarlet Scarab.
Oh, Scarlet Scarab,
yeah, and I thought that was awesome, but it was also cool. So it just felt kind of like it felt a little rushed, and it felt like, hey, this is a show about Moon Knight that a lot of people don't know. By the way, there's this other awesome character that we're gonna just totally throw in, and it just felt kind of clunky in its delivery of that as well. Because I thought she was so cool, but they really rushed the whole thing. It's like, oh, she's also this cool character too, and I don't know. I thought that was a little clunky.
It was very rushed because that was a very enjoyable character throughout the program. And if you had told me maybe a couple episodes prior to it happening that we would get her as a hero, I'd be even more excited, but it just kind of injects itself at the last minute, even though it was really cool. The wings looked awesome. I thought the suit looked really, really cool, but it just happened so late that it feels like once you get into it, we kind of snatch the rug from up underneath you. I wanted a little bit more with that. I wanted more with Ethan Hawke as well. His character was awesome. Very underdeveloped, I agree. There's just not a lot of development for that character. We kind of just get him in as the big bad of this season, and I wanted a lot more. I honestly hope if there is a season 2, there's more of him, but I think if we're saying 1 to 10 Moon Knight season 2, I'm at like a good solid 7. I'm not over the moon, but I can't wait.
What's up, Monty? Monty's in the chat.
Monty, hey.
And she said, even though they slid her in the way that we described, she was still a badass, and I agree.
She was so great. Like,
she was awesome.
Callumway to ate that roll up.
Yes, so taking nothing away from her. Yeah, she was great.
Nothing away.
So I was gonna say my score for my hype on Moon Knight season 2 is like a 7. But if they bring back the Hippo God, like Tyler's saying, I'm at an 8.5, baby. I love that. That was awesome. That was one of my favorite moments, actually.
We got Chili Boy in the house.
What's up, Larry?
With more Moon Knight, please. Yeah, some more Moon Knight would be nice. But the Hippo God was awesome. I agree. 100%. Watched a lot of Easter eggs. Seems like no one really predicted her coming. Yeah. So that's nice to have her in. I did like her suit, though. Those wings were so cool, and they were large, man. That was so tight, man. I really like the look of Scarlet Scarab. So we got to get season 2 just so we can get some more Scarlet Scarab and more Oscar Isaac. Nobody's complaining about that.
And more Hippo.
And more hippo guy. all the good stuff. Bring back Ethan Hawke too. Hell. All right, we're gonna go to Miss Marvel season 2, which I'm sure has a lot of people hype after coming off of the Marvels. I'm sure we'll dive more into Kamala's family a little bit more. Maybe we're leaning toward college here or getting prepped for college in the second season. But Iman Vellani will be back. There'll be some kind of new villain in play here. Man, I really, really like Miss Marvel season 1. I thought she was the best part of the Marvels. I am overjoyed with the second season, if that's what we're getting. For this one, I'm at a solid 9.5 out of 10. I love that first season, especially I think for me, the bookends of the season are the best. Of course, the beginning 2 episodes of Miss Marvel and the last episode, you just get this great coming of age story with these whimsical little animations and great editing all within this. So I'm really excited for more Kamala, really excited for more Iman. Iman has been amazing. Does not deserve any of the tarnishing that has been going on from that side of the audience with the Marvels, but she has been phenomenal in this role. Can't wait for more, man. Solid 9.5 out of 10. How you feeling about Miss Marvel season 2?
So, don't hear what I'm not saying, guys. Don't hear what I'm not saying. I didn't love the first season as much as I liked Iman's performance and the performance of her family. I lost Leo. Leo's gone. But no, look, don't hear what I'm not saying. She was amazing in the Marvels. She's such a charming character. The strength of that alone has me excited for a second season. And also, can I spoil a little? Are we doing spoiler alerts? I mean,
yeah, for Miss Marvel, it's fine.
So, guys, I mean, this is gonna happen every single time. I'm gonna tell you guys right now because I'm just such a nerd and I'm such a fan about this particular family. But in the end, the finale of Miss Marvel, we get a little bit of a what's her best friend's name? I'm so sorry. What's his name?
The guy, I can't even remember.
Okay, so her best friend is super smart. He's like Tony Stark smart because he can invent things. And yes, he was looking into her DNA somehow because he's a genius or whatever. And he informs her that her powers became activated by the bracelet, but it was because she's a mutant. And then we hear na 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 in the background, like we hear some X-Men theme. So look,
yes, sir.
If we have any kind of tie-in to the X universe, any kind of callbacks. Okay, there it is. I'm sorry, guys. Bruno.
Like, we don't talk about him.
That I forgot. Sorry, Bruno. Whatever.
We don't talk about Bruno around here.
He's all set.
But yeah, I'm 100% with you. 100% can't wait for the mutant stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
look, they made her a mutant.
Like the fact that they mentioned it, the fact that she is a mutant. If they tie any more stuff next season, I'm at a 10, yo. I'm at a 10. I'm ready. Like if they're gonna implement her that way and implement some X family stuff, let's go.
It seems like they are because we've got X-Men 97, we've got Deadpool 3 coming out. The mutant stuff is on the way, man. I mean, spoiler alert.
Okay,
at the end of the Marvels. So it's like, okay, we're really moving toward the X-Men and the mutants now. Like we're on our way here.
See, now that you mention it, it's like, why would they do that, right? Why would they end Miss Marvel that way? With the theme, with the mention, like why? Of course, right? Like
there you go, man. It's coming. You onto it.
I'm a 10, baby. I'm a 10.
Okay, you're a 10 with just that, man. Yeah, I'm a 9.5. Can't wait. I'm really excited for more mutants, for more Miss Marvel, more of her family. And now we've got the last one, She-Hulk season 2, which for me is right between these two. I've got it higher than Moon Knight, a little lower than Miss Marvel. Honestly, I think I just wanted to get as crazy as it did in the last episode a little more often. I really liked how kooky and meta the last episode got. If we can bring some more of that comedy into the show, I'm down. I like this serving as just kind of like a break from hardcore MCU stuff. I want this to be a courtroom drama mixed with a fun comedy. Make this just kind of like a fun little MCU side thing going on. You know what I mean? Like give us some more Jennifer being a lawyer, goofing off, have some fun. Let's make this fun and funny and lighthearted. How about you, man? I'm feeling I'm feeling like an 8.5. I know a lot of people don't like She-Hulk. I really like She-Hulk. I don't want it to be too anchored to the continuity of the MCU. I hope it could just really have fun with itself a little bit more this season. But yeah, man, She-Hulk season 2 for me, 8.5 out of 10. And I got Larry. I got Larry with that
He
one.
said, "Look,
let's not get wild, huh?"
Hey, Larry, I got a hot take for you. I got a hot take for you, man. I enjoyed She-Hulk season 1 more than Moon Knight and Miss Marvel. Tatiana Maslany is so charming, and just like Iman, she just has like this like infectious like energy and personality that just you just love to watch them. And honestly, like everything that you said about She-Hulk season 2, that's what I got from the first season. That's what I feel like I would expect we would get more of. It's just so much fun. It's like, why can't the MCU just be kind of silly once in a while? Like,
yeah.
And even the Matt Murdock stuff, like, it wasn't all silly because his choreography was pretty awesome. I thought it was cool that they kept the level of quality when it came to Matt Murdock fighting. It was still top notch.
Mm-hmm.
And that suit looked great. I thought when I heard about the yellow suit, I was like, oh, is that going to look good? And it actually looked great. I thought it looked great. And I loved, Charlie Cox and Tatiana had some spicy chemistry. They're just sitting next to each other, but it's like, oh, what's going on here?
Oh, they weren't just sitting next to each other, sir.
Oh yeah, I know. Spoiler alert. They got down in the show, and I love that.
Some other stuff next.
Yes, and then I also love that Matt Murdock did the walk of shame with his hero boots, just walking up the house. Like
he didn't even look guilty about that shit. He was just like, "Hey."
I know, but I mean,
neighbor.
That's the typical walk of shame girls usually do with their heels, and I thought it was really cool to play with that idea and have Daredevil holding his boots. But yeah, I loved She-Hulk season 1, and it's like if you look at my Disney Plus show rankings, it's a lot higher up than most people would expect. So I'm at like a 9. I love She-Hulk.
There you go. Okay, yeah, She-Hulk was fun, man. Listen, I loved how zany that last episode got, how meta, how crazy it got with the Disney Plus menu. Give us a lot more of that. I thought it was so just fourth wall breaking in those moments. I love those elements about it. I love that comedy element. So much fun. They have Bible study.
Matt Murdock and Jennifer Walters had Bible study.
Yeah, Bible study. Yeah. But yeah, the two of them had really good chemistry. The hallway, they incorporated like inspo from the hallway fight scene when Daredevil was in this. So I love that they really bring that same action here. It's great, man. I can't wait, bro. Honestly, 8.5 for me.
Oh, and also, can I shout out Tim Roth? Because people were like, they wanted to see the Abomination. Tim Roth was great. It's like, he can be funny. It's okay. It's like, we can laugh, guys. We can laugh. It's okay. Like,
yeah, Tatiana was really good in this too. I mean, she was just funny. She had such good comedic timing and great chops. I thought she was good, man, and I can't wait for another season. So, sounds like these are on the horizon, guys. Definitely can't wait for those, but we've got some great news. Well, not so great news, but we've got some juicy news to get into next. We'll get into time for the roundup. All right,
let's get into it.
Away, brother.
All right, guys. As with every week, it's about that time. Let's check the box office pulse. Hunger Games: Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes remains number 1 in its second weekend with $28.8 million. The top 4 are surprisingly all in double-digit millions, with Napoleon second place. It's got about 20 mil. Wish, the Disney animated film, came in third, and Trolls came in at 4th, while the Marvels dropped completely out of the top 5. Thanksgiving was at the 5 spot with only 7 mil, but overall, more people are going to the movies. To see double-digit millions for several films was, it's a positive thing, I would say, but numbers are still down across the board. I think, me and Leo were talking about this pre-show. It's crazy to think that a Marvel film can drop out of the box office race in 3 weeks. That is just unfathomable, in my opinion, especially with how successful the MCU machine is, and whether people love it or hate it. Like, this is a really this is a precedent. This is like unprecedented in the manner that the Marvels has done. It's really bad and it sucks. I feel like the film deserves better. The stars deserve better. But yeah, this is a really bizarre weekend. I mean, Trolls, what's it? Band Together? Trolls Band Together
Yeah.
is whooping the Marvels butt right now. It's crazy. Leo, how do you feel about this whole thing? I mean, I know you love the Marvels too, and are you surprised Hunger Games is holding strong?
We completely underestimated the power of the Ballad of the Songbirds and Snakes. That is doing very, very well. That fandom is supporting that. That fandom is going back to watch that again and again. That movie is doing numbers. And if that continues to have some more legs, it's going to look really good for another Hunger Games. They're probably going to be looking into making another sequel just with how it's performing already, especially with all this competition. The Marvel's so disappointing, man. It did not deserve this, but it just goes to show that like between that and Wish, like Disney, you can't just be like we're Disney anymore. Like you gotta actually get a strategic release spot. You gotta get strategic marketing. Unfortunately, that did not happen with the Marvels. So because of that, and the Marvels is just suffering. It's unfortunate because the Marvels is awesome. It's such a fun, good film. But man, you've also had the tabloids villainizing Nia DaCosta and all this riffraff about her ditching out on screenings. And it's just like, what a weird narrative Penske is like painting around Nia DaCosta. But that and then Wish, man, Wish, shocking. Not gonna front. I'm shocked that Napoleon was higher than Wish. Shocked.
Yeah. No,
But I
Napoleon did
mean,
really well. Like
yeah.
I'm surprised. I mean, yeah, like you said, to have Napoleon above Wish, I never would have saw that coming. Like
Didn't
if it was
see
a
it coming,
bet,
man.
I wouldn't have bet on that. So
That word of mouth. I don't know. The criticisms around Wish are weird. It's just like the vitriol, like Larry was
yeah.
saying, it's just like very odd about that movie. So I'm not entirely sure what's going on there. But it's not connecting when it comes to getting audiences in theaters. They've really learned to train people to stay home and wait for Disney Plus.
And really quick, Leo, Monty makes a good point here. We're gonna cover our faces. She's okay with the Marvels dropping out of the top 5 because it's the biggest opening for a movie directed by a Black woman. That is an achievement in and of itself. But Monty, what sucks about that is that the Marvels' budget is so high that no one's gonna talk about the 100 mil that
Yeah.
Nia DaCosta made, which is amazing because most Black women not only do they not get the opportunity to direct blockbusters usually, they usually don't make $100 million, and so this is a big deal. But because it's considered a flop, no one's talking about
Nobody's
it.
going to talk about that part of the
And
narrative, and it's so unfortunate.
it is unfortunate because Nia DaCosta is an amazing talent, and Amani, I agree. I think it's amazing that she had the opportunity to even do this, so that's cool. But
Yeah, it was a great exposure, if you will, to Black women directing Marvel. I love it. I love that that's like the highest debut from Black female director. That's great. But yeah, the narrative is just not being painted in that direction. I hate it, man. I hate it. And unfortunately, it has to do with what? Because it's underperforming. But Penske, they ought to be ashamed with themselves with how they're handling that reporting.
And really quick, Larry brings up an interesting point as well. They need to spread out these animated pictures to debut Trolls 3 less than a week ahead of Wish is wild, Larry says. And look, I'm not sure if either film would have fared any better in any other spot just because this time of the year is so crowded with pictures. But to have them that close to each other, they are totally cannibalizing each other. Like families can either go to this or that. And, some people saw them Wish more this weekend, but it's like both of their numbers are pretty low. So
yeah, the cannibalizing nature of all these movies releasing around each other is crazy. This is a good comment. What's going on, Johnny Rome? Good to see you, man.
Up? Welcome in.
So curious, will their focus for a new Hunger Games movie? Sounds like maybe Haymitch might be where they take the next direction. A lot of people are wanting that prequel, so maybe they'll go ahead and focus on that character for the next one.
What's funny is like I said this last week. I'm not really a Hunger Games fan, but I remember Hamish. That was Woody Harrelson's character, right?
Yes,
So
it was.
I like that guy. So I remember him from the
Okay.
first one. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Lowe's on board. Lowe's on board. I think we need to get out of District 12, but that's just me.
See, that went over my head. I'm like, damn. So is Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes in District 12 again? Like,
Yeah, so Lucy Gray Bayard is a member of District 12.
okay.
And so it's Katniss and Haymitch and like most of the people that we know from Hunger Games are from District 12.
Tyler's saying, "Hey, Mitch, a Hunger Games story incoming."
I mean, dude, that might be the next route.
I just find it funny how we thought we were gonna get like 10 more Star Wars stories, and not anymore.
We got our 2, and then they said, "Oh, that's how Solo performed." Yeah, we're good on that.
Yeah, that is not working. But that rounds up the pulse. Let's continue on. We have a lot of crazy news, including the next piece here. Melissa Barrera, star of Scream 5 and Scream 6, was fired from Scream 7 for posting genuine concerns about the awful, violent tragedies in Gaza. Jenna Ortega proceeded to leave the project as well in solidarity with her sister. Actually, they played sisters in the Scream films. Terrible, terrible news, especially terrible considering the coldness with which Spyglass released their statement regarding the matter. And they kind of just put a lot of words in Melissa's mouth. They kind of like antagonized her almost. And Spyglass Entertainment, man, I mean, from a studio, from a media company, like, be better. Be better. I mean, not only should this not have happened, the way they're handling it is god awful. And reportedly, Nev Campbell did turn down her offer from them.
Yeah, that's totally a rumor.
Yeah, it's a rumor, but
rumor.
I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, Nev has stuck by her guns from the last picture. She felt like she wasn't being compensated enough, and deservedly so. She is like the legend herself, the Scream Queen of the 90s, and they're like lowballing her on the offer. So lots of things to unpack here. But Leo, obviously, I mean, we're both big fans of both Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega. I mean, this is awful. What was your initial feelings when this, because when this dropped, guys, the internet, including Twitter, was just flooded with controversy and drama. I mean, what were your initial feelings, Leo?
So they already had people side-eyeing because they wouldn't pay Nev Campbell enough money to come back in Scream 6. So that was like the first kind of like, oh, they're not treating their actresses well type of flub, if you will. And then to see this happen, it's like John said, yeah, very disrespectful. Very disrespectful. Weird that there's like no consideration. And so look, I don't want to get too political. I personally didn't think anything she said sounded anti-Semitic. I thought that that was a very extreme accusation to make. And I just think that it's so disappointing, honestly, to see the Scream franchise take this turn and for this to happen. It shouldn't have happened. Like, you lose your main character and your biggest actress at the same time. It shouldn't have happened, bro. Like, they shouldn't have been doing this. There are actors in Hollywood that are extremely on the other side, that nothing has happened to them. So it's very unfair, very idiotic move and decision by Spyglass. And now they're groveling, hoping that Nev will come back. Yes, the rumor is supposedly she rejected, supposedly. But I hope that this crashes and burns. I will not be supporting this. I'm glad that the fandom has actually supported them in this.
Yeah.
This way. The fandom has actually really supported them a lot in this. So I'm happy that the fandom is at least behind supporting them. But listen, this movie's a shambles. I think there's 2 scenarios you'll hear. They're going to have to completely scrap and rework everything, or they backpedal hard. And I don't put it above them or against them to backpedal.
Oh, yeah.
I honestly think they might backpedal.
Yeah, they might just need to just pause Scream for a good 5 to 10 years and just maybe let's just leave it. Leave it, right?
I think they might even just beg Melissa and Jenna to come back.
Really?
Like,
you think so?
That's the only way you get this to continue. Otherwise, I don't know what else you do.
Right.
If Nev doesn't come back, if these 2 don't, it's like there goes Scream 7.
So I wanted to post this because I feel like especially for us, especially in the moment, it kind of felt like, okay, you know what, the Scream franchise has officially ended. Like that's how it felt when this was all
Yeah.
happening. And like Larry's over here saying hashtag justice for Melissa Barrera. I mean, that was the sentiment immediately. And like you said, the fans really united over this. And really quick, Crystal Kyber's in the building. Hello. How are you,
Hey.
Crystal? Welcome in. Oh, look at this. John's also saying like he's never seen such a united fan base like this. Like it was cool. Like
Mm.
almost immediately there was a petition like boycott Scream 7, and there was just thousands and thousands of people just clicking it like yep, like this is terrible. And you kind of love that, especially with how horrible Hollywood can be, as we can see.
Yeah, and the reporting around this was like very weird to where it was almost like TMZ hit piece sort of like, oh, Melissa Barrera's out, she's out, without really considering exactly what she was trying to say. And there was a publication that was like, oh, it's horribly anti-Semitic, but we can't share the quote. It was just like a weird hush hush. This is super extreme type of reporting. And I don't know what these publications are doing, man. It's like, just report the facts. All this like TMZ hit piece on people type of reporting. It's very odd, very
reporting.
strange.
It's stupid because reporting is supposed to be objective, guys. Like you're not supposed to be injecting your personal bias and feelings in your reporting, but a lot of people do it.
Yeah, and it just felt like sketch and like underdeveloped with the reporting here.
Yeah. But yeah, guys, I mean, there's not too much more to say here. I don't want to linger on this too long, but it's awful. And just me personally, I agree with you, Leo. If they move forward with this film, I'm probably not going to see it.
Like, why? I mean, it's just kind of at this point, I'm okay on it. Because if we're gonna disrespect them like this, like why?
And then look, Johnny's saying the same thing. Lots of really specific targeting against talented women of color.
Nia DaCosta, them, just
it's crazy.
Very like villainizing journalism of like making it seem like it's their fault and such, and it's extreme. It's getting extreme.
It's hard for other writers and reporters as well. Like when we do things the right way, it's like we're all thrown under that banner when you talk about negative press, and it sucks. Like it's the minority that makes everyone look bad, So
yeah, man, and it's like this is my favorite horror franchise personally. It's my favorite horror franchise. So disappointing to see this happen. I'm like, man, you never want this to happen to like one of your favorite horror franchises. Like you just don't want it to happen.
Yeah. And what's interesting too is, I mean, I wasn't like head over heels for 6. Like it was fun. But the previous film I loved. I adored, and
really?
I loved Scream 5, and I really was interested in the Carpenter sisters. So again, I mean, that's not as important as what really happened to the people, but it's just unfortunate that those stories are practically ending now. So
yeah, man. As a mega film Scream fan, Larry's agreeing. 7, he's not gonna see 7 unless it's a backpedal. Yeah. Same here. Scream was like when I was like a young kid, like my aunt introduced me to Scream or introduced me to horror through Scream. And I remember just loving the like 1, 2, and 3. And as more subsequent sequels have come along, and it's just so disappointing. So we ain't gonna be there, man. I ain't pulling up for no Scream 7.
What's interesting is Robert Adams. Welcome into the chat, man. He's saying any day now we should probably hear about other cast members quitting and possibly Christopher Landon stepping down, because I don't know if you guys heard about that. That was kind of a WTF moment as well. Christopher Landon's statement was ill-advised. It wasn't even like he was demonizing Melissa Barrera, but he didn't really step up to bat for her either.
He basically came out and said, like, I had nothing to do with this. It wasn't me. And it's like
stop yelling. This is sad. It's like, okay. Like, back up your star of your movie, maybe. But I mean, it is what it is. He probably didn't want to lose his job. But we are going to move on, guys. This is terrible for the Scream franchise. And, by all intents and purposes, this franchise is dead to me until until they either backpedal or sell the rights, because I am not supporting a Spyglass Scream film.
John here says the one thing he fears is if they do backpedal, they'll minimalize their character roles. And I don't think they'll do that if they backpedal. I think if they backpedal, bro, they got to make them the main characters again. Like,
oh yeah,
there's just no way to really proceed with this.
Yeah, I was just say, I mean, yeah, unless they get rehired,
yeah, I think you lose Jasmine Savoy and Mason Gooding unless there's just some stipulation nailed down in their contract. I think you probably lose them too. People have already noticed that both of them don't follow Paramount Movies on their accounts on Instagram anymore. So it's just they're going to lose people if they don't make a decision on this, especially if they don't make a decision to bring them back.
Absolutely. But chugging right along to a completely different spectrum of the news here, Dave Filoni. If you guys don't know who he is a Star Wars mastermind responsible for the Clone Wars, Star Wars Rebels. More recently, he helped with Jon Favreau, helped develop The Mandalorian, and of course, he showran for Ahsoka, the hit series, the most recent one that we've seen. Dave Filoni has been appointed the chief creative officer for Lucasfilm. And look, what's funny is, like, for as beloved as Filoni was when the Clone Wars were huge, and when Star Wars Rebels was huge, some people have turned on him with the way, like, Mando season 3 went. With some people weren't all on board with Ahsoka. And here's the thing, guys, like, whether you hate or love Filoni's direction or any of his projects, I feel like Filoni is like the next best thing to having George Lucas back. Like, he just understands the spirit of Lucas's original vision. He comes the closest in the terms of, like, telling stories the way Lucas did. And to be frank, I think I'd say about 80% of his work is just amazing. He doesn't always hit, but I mean, most of the things he's brought to us has been incredible. I mean, we wouldn't even have a Ahsoka fandom if it wasn't for Dave Filoni, guys. Like, so that in and of itself, I think, speaks volumes. Let me toss this to you, Leo, because I mean, you're a fan as well. I mean, you're as big, if not a bigger fan of Rebels than me. So, are you excited for this news? I feel like this is a good change, right?
Yeah, I feel like this. I guess, Lo, when he said George Lucas coming back, I was like, my man loved that Attack of the Clones, huh?
I did. Hey, look.
Oh, really?
I like Attack of the Clones more than most. And
wow,
man, George Lucas is the man. I mean, come on.
I mean, yeah, but I was just that's what I thought of when you were like George Lucas coming back to Star Wars. I was like, man, that old Attack of the Clones, though, I don't like that one. But here's what I'll say is that I do love him being in this position. I just the way the fandom has reacted is so mixed. I'm like, let's be happy about this, man. Come on, man. Like, Ahsoka, I really liked Ahsoka. There were some things I was disappointed about, but I liked Ahsoka. This man has given us Rebels, has given us Clone Wars. Like you were saying, he is the best to happen to the series aside from George Lucas. He is a mastermind that should be very heavily involved in this. The fandom has just made it so mixed because they're like, oh, they don't love it. They kind of like it. Like, come on, we should be head over heels for this. This is great. I can't wait, man. Uh-oh. Did I lose you? Hello?
Sorry.
Oh, you're good.
I'm sorry. I had a moment there. What was going on?
No, I was just saying I really liked it. I mean, I love this decision. I just hate that the fans are being so against it.
Yeah. No, I think the fandom, like, will never be satisfied. Right?
Never, man.
And I think, like most of the sentiment is that this is the best thing for Star Wars at this point. Yes, he did work on Avatar: The Last Airbender.
I always forget about that, but yes, he did that, and he knows how to build these emotional, gravity-bearing character arcs, man. So I'm just looking forward to, like, deeper characters, more fun and likable characters. I can't wait, man.
And also, like, not to totally dump on Kathleen Kennedy, because she totally has gotten enough of that, but I think it's kind of good to pull the reins away from her a little, and
Absolutely.
Clearly she was in over her head with some of the decisions she was attempting to make and corral. And I think someone like Filoni is more suited for this type of
Mhm.
role for sure.
Yeah, I just think Kathleen may be better at the business side of things, not as much as the creative, because we've had, oh man, Star Wars has just been in shambles. I feel like since the Last Jedi, man, shambles.
Absolutely. And Crystal says it makes so much sense. I mean, absolutely. I mean, he is a master storyteller.
Master, bro, master.
All right, moving right along to a one that's been percolating for a while. I mean, we've been talking about the casting for this film for a long time, but for the upcoming Superman Legacy film, DCU's first film directed by James Gunn, Nicholas Hoult has finally been announced as Lex Luthor amongst a lot of rumors where he was rumored to be Superman, and then it switched up like, oh, he might be Lex Luthor, but now it's official. Nicholas Hoult is our Lex Luthor, and I love it. I love him for this role. I think he's gonna eat. I mean, look at like we got the good look at what he could look like, and I think he's perfect for this, in my opinion. I think he's a great actor, and I think he's gonna bring a lot to the table, especially for Superman's arch nemesis. Leo, you got a big smile on your face over there. I guess you're happy with this decision, yes?
Like you said, man, perfect. We got him. The guy who's playing Jimmy Olsen this week is perfect. We just got perfect castings in this movie, and I just can't wait for this execution. It's about time we got Nicholas Hoult having some fun in that villain role, man. I liked him in The Menu. I think that he has a lot of fun in these roles, and I can't wait to see what he does with this. I've been saying this for probably since this got officially announced. I love the idea of him and Superman having the Smallville like relationship where they like grew up together. I think you give them that connection of growing up together, of knowing about one another for a while, being good friends. Give them that connection. Give that downfall of Lex Luthor a much bigger stage set with the two of them. And we don't gotta have that happen in the movie. Maybe he has already converted, but I love the idea of them having a previous relationship. But yeah, Nicholas Hoult will get to have so much fun with this. He gets to play the villain. I can't wait, man. I think Superman would have been a weird choice for him because there was that going around at first, like, oh, maybe he'll be Superman. But I love the Nicholas Hoult Lex Luthor casting. I can't wait to see him and Corn Sweat on screen together. I think they're going to be really, really good facing off against one another, man. I can't wait.
Absolutely. T3 Media Studios, what's
What's
up?
going on, bro?
He
Good to
says,
see
"What's
you,
up,
Chris.
homies?"
What's going
Um,
on, man?
whoa. Robert Adams is saying he's hoping that it's not goofy like Gene Hackman or Spacey, which is weird because I liked Kevin Spacey's
Yeah,
portrayal,
same.
even though Kevin Spacey's an asshole. Um,
Ugh.
Colby's saying he was a dick in The Favorite. Yeah, he kind of was, and also, yeah, I hated his character in The Menu. He was so grating
Despicable,
in The
man.
Menu, but it kind of speaks to his acting because like when you hate someone that much, it's like they're acting their ass off. So
Hey, he's just got to be better than Jesse Eisenberg. I'm sorry, that damn Jesse Eisenberg Lex Luthor, man, what a mess!
oh man, look, I'll just say I actually really like Jesse Eisenberg as
I
an
knew it.
actor. No, I like him as an actor, but yeah, no, his Lex was not it. His Lex was his fruit snack putting in people's mouths. Just so like weird and kooky.
My
Like,
man was like a weird, hyper cracked out Riddler.
yeah, it was just bizarre. But I wanted to add this in, but I just wasn't familiar and I didn't know the kid's name. So is this Jimmy Olsen guy? Like, who's the guy that got playing Jimmy Olsen? You know anything about this kid?
So I know I recognize him from some stuff. Let me see. Legacy.
Colby said Nicholas Hoult went from being a blue furball to being bald again.
Skylar Casando. That's his name, and he is from.
Hey, Robert's with you, man. He says he wants Holt to be closer to Michael Rosenbaum from Smallville. So
yeah, give him like a better. Oh, that Skylar dude is in the Amazing Spider-Man stuff. I think. Wait, hold on. I know this dude from somewhere. Mostly Booksmart. He's in Booksmart and a couple other.
Okay.
But he has the look. He has the chops. I think this cast looks a lot like the characters too, so that helps. But I can't wait, man. Holt and Corn Sweat are gonna be great together.
Oh yeah. No, I can see it. I see the vision, and
Uh-oh.
I can see him playing a menacing Lex.
Monty says this image is awful.
Hey, I didn't make it, but
Somebody did their thing. Oh,
yeah.
Baldy.
I'll admit he kind of has like an Xavier thing going on right now, but
Yeah, in that picture for sure.
yeah, but for all intents and purposes, I am on board with this casting, and what is it? 2025? We're gonna see this, so it's gonna be a while, guys, but I look forward to it.
Bro is wearing a bald cap. Big old bald head.
Tommy.
Oh.
So Skylar was also Tommy in Rob Zombie's Halloween.
Oh, okay.
Interesting. Right. Let's move it right along, you guys. Jackie Chan and Ralph Macchio are teaming up for a brand new Karate Kid film. I'll admit, I was a little flabbergasted when I heard about this news. However, the promo that they did together, they cut like a little video together, and it was not only was it kind of jarring to see them on screen together, but it's also kind of interesting because they said they are looking for the new Karate Kid, and they're putting this out to the public, like, hey, do you want to be the Karate Kid? Almost like that's what it came off as. So this is an interesting take. I mean, for marketing purposes, it's pretty cool. I don't know how in the world are they going to connect this. Is this going to be a completely new film? You know, like, because obviously Jackie Chan's Karate Kid wasn't exactly the same storyline or universe, but it's interesting to see how this is going to play out, especially because Cobra Kai is still doing fantastically well on Netflix. And you know, you being such a big Cobra Kai fan, Leo, I gotta know, like, were you thrown off by this at all? Because I didn't see this coming at all.
So, ladies and gentlemen of the dojo, we got to talk about this one because, I'm so excited to see this. So, I think for sure they're coming back as Daniel and Mr. Han.
Okay.
I'm wondering how exactly we're going to connect this. Are we going to bring in Mr. Han and Dre into Cobra Kai season 6? Are we going to bring them in? Are we going to have them in the last season? It makes me think yes. Also, I think we're getting Hilary Swank. We got to bring in everybody. We got to fire on all cylinders. We got to bring back everybody from the Karate Kid franchise. So it sounds like maybe both Kung Fu and karate are going to come together to train this new student. And I think the perfect opportunity to set all that up is with the last season of Cobra Kai. I don't know how they're going to come in. And I feel like if Dre comes in, he's going to be lopsidingly better than most of the students in any of the Miyagi or Eagle Fang, any of the dojos. I'm like, okay, they're probably going to lose to Dre Parker.
Right.
But I feel like, listen, if we're going to bring these two together, these are two beasts. These are the two tent poles of the Karate Kid franchise. I'm here for it, man. I cannot wait to see what these two do with the next Karate Kid master. But I'm assuming that it's going to be maybe fusing the two styles, Kung Fu and karate, I guess. I'm so down. So down.
Absolutely. And me, I'm a huge fan of Jackie Chan. I mean, I got my my Criterion over here.
There we go, baby. There we go, baby.
So I'm on board. I'm on board for this. And then John over here is saying the Karate Kid multiverse. Welcome Agamotto to the nice.
Oh, sorry.
You're good. Welcome Agamotto. He said Cobra Kai has been fantastic.
What's
and
going on, Pat?
He's saying Cobra Kai's last season is dealing with an international tournament. So that's already kind of opening the door, right?
Yeah, man. So I think this international tournament, we're going to see Dre Parker, potentially see Hilary Swank come back as
There's
Julie
one way
Pierce.
to do it. We could link Mr. Han by just being...
Oh, totally.
Like, who knows who Mr. Miyagi has met in his lifetime? Maybe they're friends.
Right. Now, I
That's
wonder if they're going to do, because the writer said they're down for spin-offs. I wonder if they're going to do a Mr. Miyagi prequel or something. I know that's been something that's been talked about a lot. So there might, in addition to this movie, be more spin-offs of Cobra Kai. I'm down for a Miyagi prequel. I'm super down for that. And maybe we'll get maybe young Miyagi, young Mr. Han. Super down.
Tyler's going off the rails. The new Karate Kid becomes the avatar of the Karate Kid
Right?
universe.
He's
He
just
masters
the
all the
one
styles.
student that could master all of them is the the new Karate Kid is the master of all 4 martial arts styles.
And then Halloween the 13th is saying we need Miguel, Hawk, Tori, Johnny Lawrence, Robbie Keane, everyone. Well, look, guys, if this is going to be the penultimate Karate Kid film, I mean, why not? Throw everybody in there. Terry Silver, bring everybody back. Mike Barnes.
I think he might be in the Cobra Kai, but I'm down for them in the movie as well.
Yeah, this is just this. I feel like this news came out of nowhere, right, Leah? I feel like where did this come from? Like, I didn't see this coming. At least in my opinion. Like,
So I've been tracking the Karate Kid. This movie was announced maybe about a year ago now, maybe, and I'm just glad that the two of them are going to be working together. Also, I'm with Agamotto here. Terry Silver forever.
hey, John almost
yes, we need a movie.
John almost made me choke on my drink. He said Miyagi made Han wash cars, and Han had to head home with a jacket on. Put the jacket on the floor. Pick up the jacket.
Jacket on.
Oh man,
I love that, bro. Yeah, Karate Kid though. Love that franchise now, especially with Cobra Kai and the revival. I know Ralph Macchio. You know what's funny is he's older than the Terry Silver actor. You wouldn't think that's the case, but yeah, he's older than him.
He has like good genes, man. He does not look 63.
Right. I'm like, Ralph Macchio easily looks like he's like early 50s, late 40s.
Yeah.
He's just like rolling around looking youthful his whole life. Oh my God. Well, Justin Bieber's never say never.
Oh, that song. Look, I'll admit, I loved the Karate Kid film with Jaden Smith, but I hated that song.
That song was horrible, dude. I couldn't stand that damn song.
No, when the credits came on, I was like, oh,
and never say never. I was like, oh, hell.
Like, let me get out of this theater.
Right? Oh, my goodness. Yeah, the next season is season 6.
Yeah.
And which is the last season, reportedly. So we're saying our goodbyes.
I mean, it's about time. I feel like it's not good to drag things out, especially if they don't need to be dragged out.
6 seasons in a movie. Community. Let's do it. 6 seasons in a movie, baby. Awesome. Well, guys, we're going to get into our last segment of the night here. We're going to get into... We're talking movies and shows of the week, but Lo went to San Francisco Fan Expo, man. Tell us, how was it, man? It was this weekend, and hell, a big Mark Hamill drop, some other stuff. Let us know, man. What'd you think?
Absolute blast from start to finish. I was there Friday night, and they just finished today. Friday night, like Leo was saying, Mark Hamill closed the night. It was awesome. I could listen to Mark Hamill talk all day. He is a legend in the game, and he's just so genuine and sincere, and he's just such a funny guy. And it actually got really emotional as well. He was talking about Kevin Conroy, and very affectionately, he admitted to all of us in the panel and in the audience, the hundreds of us, that he's basically retired as Joker, and he would never want to do it again without Kevin Conroy. And he actually very affectionately said the line like, without Batman, crime has no punchline. And that was probably one of the most like heartwarming things I've ever heard someone like of celebrity status say in person. That was just incredible. And then the next day was just as jam packed, full of awesome celebrities. I got to walk around and see Tony Todd from the Candyman films. I got to see Carl Weathers, Grief Karga, Apollo Creed himself, Chubbs from Happy Gilmore. You know, Carl Weathers is a legend. Um, and there was an awesome panel at the end of the night last night, where we reunited the 4 hobbits from Lord of the Rings films. And if you guys don't know this, I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan, so it was cool. It was like Elijah Wood as Frodo, Sean Astin as Samwise Gamgee, Dominic Monaghan as Merry, and Billy Boyd as Pippin. They were all together on stage, and it was wonderful. Those guys, just natural chemistry that you saw on the screen just translates outside. You could tell that they really grew together as friends and brothers in real life, and it's awesome to see them share that on stage. And today, I got to see Ewan McGregor, which was great. I got to see the original voices of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the 1980s cartoon, which was a trip because Raphael, if you guys don't know, it's Rob Paulson. He sounds like Raphael in real life. Like him just
Oh,
talking.
that's awesome.
He sounds like Raphael just when he's just talking. It's great. It's same thing with Donatello. The guy that did Donatello, he sounds exactly like Donatello from the cartoon. It's amazing. And today closed with the Fets, Tamara Morrison
Ooh.
and Daniel Logan, who played young Boba Fett in Attack of the Clones, who's a grown-up now. And Tamara Morrison is, again, like Mark Hamill, he is like just the coolest guy. Tamara Morrison was off the rails, guys. He was like pinching Daniel Logan's muscles, like telling him to take his shirt off. He So Daniel Logan was like actually referring to Tamura as dad the whole time, which was great. He's like, "Hey, dad, should
That's
we tell him about
great.
this?" Oh, it was so great. And then he was like, "Dad, do the bantha thing, do the bantha thing." And this is the best part, guys. Like, he actually proceeded to tell us about how Robert Rodriguez, who did the Book of Boba Fett, would play guitar on set, and he would actually sing to it. And Tamura Morrison
Wow.
started singing the song, and he was like, "I am the baddest bounty hunter on Tatooine," and it was awesome. Like, he had this song, he was singing to us. It was great. And then at the end of it all, he was like, "My best friend is a bantha," and then he did the bantha, and he did the ride it like a bantha. It was so great. It was such a great time. Amazing cosplays, of course. I mean, you can't go to a con and not see cosplays. I dressed up a little myself. It's just a great experience for anyone that hasn't been to one. It's like, it's where you want to be if you want to enjoy all things fandom, anime,
Mhm.
video games, movies, TV. I mean, it's just the place to be if you're into all that. So it was a great time. I look forward to the next fan expo, whenever that is.
I'm glad you had a good time at Fan Expo, man. Listen, like, they're run by the same people who does Denver Fan Expo. They do all kind of fan expos around the year. And earlier at ours, we had Hayden Christensen. We had who else did we have, Larry? Oh, we had dude who plays Matt Murdock and goodness guys, Kingpin. I'm blanking right now, but Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio had a panel. It was like a really good weekend packed full of celebrities at the Denver one too. So it's great to hear that you had like a Hobbit panel and you had Mark Hamill speak. Like there was such a good amount of people at that one, and you got to meet you, like you got to see Ewan McGregor's panel. What a cool panel that was. Yeah, thanks, Larry. I was struggling. I was like, I don't know why I'm struggling on these two. Screencast was there. Yep,
Nice.
had a lot of people at ours. So it's good to hear that the fan expos did something that SDCC did not do, and they had some really good guests. And of course, that's obviously because of the strikes, but
Yeah.
there was some great guests. We had about 50 people cancel for real. Yeah, John, we had the Screamcast at Denver Fan Expo.
Oh yeah, you know what? I was a little disappointed. I think that's just part of cons. Like, some people just drop out. Sam Raimi was supposed
Yeah.
to be at Fan Expo this weekend, and he dropped out. Yeah, I
He
was
was
kind of
at
bummed.
ours.
I was bummed about that. I actually wanted to see Sam Raimi. So
They were weird about recording at that one, y'all. They were like, please don't record. I think it's because he was like talking about Multiverse of Madness. So I was like, uh-oh,
yeah,
might be some exclusive drops at this. I don't know. Shamik Moore did a panel too. Fan Expo been stacked, man. It was more like our fan expos are more stacked than SDCC.
yeah. No, hey, Fan Expo is solid. I'm honestly looking forward to the next one.
Yeah.
Whether it's SF or another city, I'm definitely down to go again. It was a great experience.
Glad you enjoyed, man, because sometimes fan expos, some of the organization be a little rough, but
Yeah.
that's with all kinds. But y'all, recently I just kind of been watching through a lot of the for your consideration content for the award season coming up. Let's see. I watched Wish. I loved Wish. Definitely was in the hot take opinion, if you will, with Wish. I really liked it. Magical to me. I really liked Ariana DeBose and her singing. I like the character Asha, even though she's a little surface level. I really do like that character. I like Chris Pine. It was fun to me. I had a blast, y'all. Like, there's a lot of references to other Disney movies, and of course, there's a lot of Easter eggs and things like that. But I'm just not sure why this one got so much heckling. I don't really know. I really liked it, guys. So, Wish, fun holiday movie. Leo was a fun animated movie too. Definitely not as holiday, if you will, as Wish, but Leo. I mean, what was so nice about it? It was wholesome. Adam Sandler is in this, just doing some wonderful voice work and bringing a wholesome story to life of this little geckos helping these kids out with problems they're having. I love it. He was creating like a safe space for the kids to share. I love that. I loved how wholesome that ended up becoming. Let's see. Recently, I just saw Eileen as well. We talked about that on this show, which
Yeah.
man, so much potential low, but it was a little disappointing.
Okay.
I think blanket again, Last Night in Soho executed that style a lot better. We've got another strong blonde woman up against Elsie Fisher's character, is a little more mousy, but you could tell wants to be something more. We've got that same dynamic going with these two, and there's kind of this like romance budding between them in the first half of the movie, but it just takes a sharp left turn toward the end. And while I like the left turn, there's like a certain character moment that I didn't like toward the end. So it kind of throws everything through a loop for me. Anne Hathaway was great, and acting along the opposite side of her was Thomas and Mackenzie, who was awesome. I really like the two of them on screen together. I love how the cinematography and the camera work actually became warmer and more exciting whenever Anne Hathaway was on screen, in order to really well illustrate Thomas and Mackenzie's affections for that character. But man, we just didn't get enough. There's a lot of meandering around in the mundane life of Eileen, which I know that's what it's trying to illustrate. It's trying to give us that warm vibe whenever Anne Hathaway's around, but it doesn't do that enough. I love the noir tone of it all, though. You could tell there's definitely some Hitchcockian thriller inspiration going on with this. So I love it, man. I love those things, but I just think the story just does not deliver as well as those elements like do. Can't wait to see Eileen. Yeah, definitely check it out. It's still worth checking out. I just wasn't a little disappointed. Let's see. I watched Elemental again. Love that Elemental. Yeah, that movie, man, that movie got me emotional the second time. I was emotional the first time, but even the second time when they first touch low, when they first touch, y'all, that tears. Listen, okay, it's emotional. The animation is beautiful. And see, Larry and me were having this conversation I think yesterday actually, about Leo. It's just the problem with Leo is there's animated movies that have such phenomenal animation, and this is one of them. Elemental just looks so phenomenal. The fluid motions of the people in Element City, it's just so beautifully animated and such an emotional story. And then I finished my awards watch this weekend with Naiad on Netflix. I thought was pretty good. It was okay. It's about this woman. Her last name is Naiad. I can't remember her first name. Oh, Diana Naiad, who is a real person, who swam from like Florida to Cuba. I want to say like Florida to Cuba.
Wow.
And yeah, did what 5 attempts of it. She attempted it back when she was in her like late 20s, and then she actually made the complete trip in her 60s. So it chronicles that, and it's got Annette Bening, Jodie Foster. It's a good movie. There's like some really great cinematography. The When she's like swimming out in the water, there's like these experiences happening to her. She has these like memories going on. I want it to be, I guess, a little. I guess I wanted it to be a little more gripping, but it just wasn't. Especially when she was out of the water, there was like some meandering that happened throughout the film. But oh no, I liked Annette Bening, and Jodie Foster in the movie was awesome.
That's what Larry's
Oh
saying.
yeah, nice.
Larry's
Yeah,
saying she ate.
Yeah, Jodie Foster was really good in this. Kind of took some of Annette Bening's spotlight for me. But yeah, I liked it, man. I've been on like a awards watch binge, and tonight I think I'm gonna watch Anatomy of a Fall.
Nice. I actually just
Yeah.
saw that last week. Actually, it was great. I loved it.
Ooh, loved it. Okay.
Yeah.
Good
No,
to
it's
hear.
really interesting. It takes like the concepts that you see from like 12 Angry Men, and it just really turns like storytelling on its head in a way that like these are just people talking, but it's so intriguing when you know the context, and then you kind of go into just like them going off on each other, like the prosecutor versus like the person on stand, and it's just interesting, like the elements and the way it's told, especially in this film.
Ooh.
It's great drama, man. Great acting, and man, like it's such a simple premise that's so like it's weird how I feel like I could have seen another hour of it. Like there's just so
Really?
much to take in, yeah, because it's like it's the simplest story, but it's just executed so well that they made it so intriguing for its whole runtime. Like I could have
2
watched
hours, 30 minutes. You want another hour?
I could have went another 30, man. Like I was just in, like I was locked in.
Wow. Okay.
So I'm curious to hear what you think about it. I really enjoyed it.
I'll either be watching that or Across the Spider-Verse again. And it very well
Hey,
might be the latter.
so I was gonna say I think I'm on my 4th or 5th rewatch now, maybe 6th. But I'm telling you, every time I rewatch it, it gets better, better.
Better and better, man.
Like how is that possible? So I don't know if you remember this. I had it under Guardians for a while in my top 5 of the year. It's number 2 now, man. God, I can't believe it. Like it's just it keeps rising. It keeps going up. Like
Man, I can't wait, bro. I can't wait to see some more Spider-Verse. And I was actually surprised at how much better Elemental got on a second watch for me.
I'll have to do that.
I think the immigrant story was better on a rewatch. I just thought everything about that beat of the film was better watching it again. I thought that was a weaker point in the first watch through, but one more watch through when I was like, okay, I really like it. I actually think it's very well balanced in the story. And I love the two of them. I mean, they're great together. Amber and Wade. Oh, I love them, man. But Lo, let the people know what's coming up on your channels, man. Where can the people find you?
Yeah, so you can follow me on Twitter or Letterboxd at Marcellus Durden. I'm a proud editor and reporter for the Cinema Spot. We've got lots of great content on there right now. I'm actually going to do a write-up of my Fan Expo San Francisco experience, just overview of like my highlights and why cons are so great. We also got reviews for Eileen, like we were just talking about, Saltburn, Killers of the Flower Moon. I did one for the Marvels. We got lots of great reviews. Our managing editor, John, is reviewing Rick and Morty and Invincible episode by episode. He also has an exclusive interview with the showrunner of Invincible. Check it out, man. We got a lot of great content. Follow us on all socials at The Cinema Spot. Check us out at thecinemaspot.com.
Guys, check them out on thecinemaspot.com. Here on Geekly Goods, we got reviews around the corner, guys. I got some reviews from Denver Film Festival to get finished up. Guys, come on back at the same time, same place next week, y'all. We'll be talking the latest movie news here on the Roundup. Thank you so much for stopping by, and we'll see you next time on Geekly Goods.